Welcome back everyone to Skincare and Beauty with Perky Perkins. So today I'm very excited because I'm doing a collaboration with a few of my friends here on YouTube. We decided to jump on the bandwagon, I guess you could call it, and do the palette tag. Samantha March, and I forgot the second creator's name, started this tag or restarted the tag on YouTube, and we were all chit-chatting and we're like, that would be such a fun tag for us to do, to really make us think about our collection and what we have basically. Personally, compared to these ladies, I do not own as many palettes as them actually. I maybe have about 30-40 palettes at the most, and that's that that's like I'm kind of rounding up, because I only started collecting makeup basically almost 2 years ago, which I will discuss that during the video. I do apologize also in advance because I'm sweating like a pig today. It is nearly 100 degrees here in the Bay Area, and I have no central air conditioning or window air conditioners either. And if I put my fan on, it's gonna sound horrendous. So I'm gonna be dabbing away a little bit here and there. If you have not subscribed to my channel, I would greatly appreciate if you would join the Perky family. We are growing and I'm so thankful. And if you do end up liking the video, I would appreciate if you could give this video a like or a dislike if you don't like it for some reason. But anyways, without further ado, let's start the palette tag. All right, so the first question in the palette tag was, show your newest palette. So the question number one is a little bit of a trick question for me, as there's two. I'm gonna introduce you guys to the newest member in my collection, being the Milk Cosmetics Impulsive palette. This palette just came in on Saturday and I really love the color story. It definitely steps out a little bit of my comfort zone and doesn't give me as many light shades to play with, but I actually decided to test it out today. Decided to test it out today and see how I felt, and even this actually blended down very nicely where it doesn't overpower. You can see that. Those shades are just gorgeous, and I love the ratio between the shimmers and mattes. But I also wanted to show you guys this. Look at that. It's like a little Tetris or stairs. But Sephora had it on sale for 50% off, and it came restocked. I got an email, and as soon as I got that email, I hit pay on my shopping cart. Question number two, show your oldest palette. I'm not sure, but it's the oldest one I have for now. I think the other one I might have tossed it because I had gotten a freebie. It's Cosmetics a long time ago when I bought a QVC order. But for now, my oldest palette is this Too Faced chocolate bar. This is pretty much, and you could tell it was very used and abused. This shade right here that has quite a divot. Honestly, this is probably, so it's my oldest palette, but I haven't touched it in maybe almost 2 years. I got it before I really started loving makeup, and basically only used 1 or 2 shades, typically 1 shade, to just put a wash of color around my eyes just because I wasn't comfortable. And I want to say I found it at TJ Maxx back then for very affordable price, and that's why I picked it up. But after I started testing out other palettes, I just never picked it up again. And a few months back, I was gonna toss it out, and my daughter goes, "Can I have it?" And I'm swatched it. The pigments still look decent. I'm like, sure, it's a good palette for you to play with and learn, since it's not overly pigmented, you know what I mean? So it's hers now, but it's in my house still, so technically speaking, it's still considered my oldest palette. Now for question number 3, it's what is your most expensive palette? Oddly enough, it's also a new one. This is my newest also addition to my collection, which is the Natasha Denona Sunrise palette. This arrived on Saturday. I have been eyeballing it since it came out. I really wanted the Metropolis as well, but I cannot see myself spending $130. I would love to. I just can't. You know, this, I felt that $65, it's on par to what I've paid for Jeffree Star, and you know, so I figured, why not? I could waste that money fairly easily on a smaller eyeshadow palette, right? And probably not get the same quality. So I'm very excited to try this out. Though I did get it during the Sephora, the VIB whatever sale, so I got 10% off because I'm not very special, you know. Though I'm now getting there since I'm making purchases this year. But so yeah, so I did get it for 10% off, but still it's considered my most expensive palette. And again, I'm very excited to try it out as well. I love these type of warm tone colors year around. I don't care about what the season is whatsoever. For me, it's whatever the colors are and whatever fits me and my personality, that's what I'm gonna wear. Now, question number 4 is, what is your least expensive palette? That would be my LA Girl Nudes palette. I picked this up actually around New Year's. No, I picked it up sometime in the holiday season before New Year's. I just posted it in a haul video around New Year's, but I got it on sale for $3.99, you guys. Look at this. This nudes palette by LA Girl is really pretty, you guys. I even like the brush that it came with because of the little spongy side, oddly enough, and the mattes blend nicely. You do have to work at them to build it up, and the shimmers are really nice as well. Again, for $3.99, and I think regular retails like $8, but again, I paid $3.99. I really don't have anything from e.l.f. other than the Poreless Putty Primer, because I know I've seen a lot of people have their e.l.f. mini palettes, but I don't have none of those. I feel it's a waste for me, you know. Maybe I'll get them for my daughter if she wants them, but it's a waste for me. I don't know. But anyways, I feel that this will be a great quality palette, and you could do nice, neutral, everyday looks. I will actually link my tutorial I did, because I came out with a really beautiful glam look using this palette. And again, it didn't require very much work whatsoever when it comes to, you know, compared to some other lower quality products or affordable products, which take a lot of work to build up. It didn't take that much work in my opinion. And I just made sure to have an eyeshadow base, and I was good to go. I really love and enjoy it. In fact, before we were in quarantine, the few times I was traveling, this was in my bag to travel. For one, it's affordable, so if it broke, I wouldn't care. 2, it just had the variety I needed for work or family stuff or whatever it might be. Again, it's a very nice neutral, has has a couple matte shades, but mostly shimmers, but they're not overly shimmery, you know. The next question was, what is your everyday palette? My everyday palette is the Tarte Cosmetics Tardiest in Bloom palette. I picked this up about 1.5 years ago, actually, during Christmas time, because they were 50% off. All 3 were 50% off. I wanted to get all 3 because they looked really nice, and they were all, you know, still at that time I was not comfortable with color, and for me, all variations of neutrals, heck yeah, sign me up, you know what I mean? And I don't know if you could see, like, this is also in my project pan, I want to say, but it's a very nice neutral palette where, you know, you could just do quick, easy looks. You got a nice variety of mattes and then a few shimmers to make a nice pop look if you want. Or again, when I do travel, I take this guy right here because it's a nice sturdy case, and I've gotten some really great use overall. I want to say to this day I use it at least once a week because of these 2 tan shades right there and this shimmer right there. I really love using that one for the inner corner and brow bone, actually. So, you know, it's very convenient, let's put it that way. If the pans weren't so tiny, I could even use this as a contour and bronzing palette, because I do that from time to time. The next question is, which many of you guys might or might not know, is what is your most colorful palette in your collection? Jeffree Star's Jawbreaker. So this very colorful palette has 24 pans of variation, and definitely it's the most colorful palette I own. I might have other palettes which have some variation, but nowhere near as this. I've definitely gotten a little bit of use, but not as much. Again, it's so colorful, and I'm not a day-to-day colorful palette type of gal, you know what I mean? But I do really love a lot of the shimmers that are in this palette, actually. In fact, I'm still working on restarting a series I had started a while back, which I'll be featuring this palette in it as well. The next question is, what is the smallest palette you own? That would be my Wonder Beauty Rush palette. I have 3 out of the 4, you know, compact palettes from Wonder Beauty, and I just like, again, they're very nice and convenient. Before, for travel, I actually used to pack this guy instead of the Ellie Girl. It's just Ellie Girl gives me more of a variety when it comes to shimmers, but still, I really used to like this one because you can easily do like a soft natural day look, or do like a little bit more darker smoky look if you like. Even though there's only 2 mattes and, you know, 4 shimmers, you can really make these work. And again, they have one for every season, and they've recently launched a larger palette, which I'm hoping to get my hands on it because I do like their formulas overall. They blend out very nicely in my opinion, and I've just had really good results when it comes to Wonder Beauty's products. I know it doesn't work for everyone because everyone's skin is different, their needs are different, but in my case, I've had really good results overall. So, oh, I will comment though, those little guys are kind of pricey. I want to say they're $24 or $25 a piece. And I know when you compare that price point, it's kind of steep. So I'm glad I've gotten mine in subscription boxes in the past. But when you're comparing the price points, you know, it's at the same price bucket as the Natasha Denona's, except Natasha Denona has For $25 you get 5 pans if I remember correctly, but the pan sizes are much smaller from Natasha. These are much larger pans in general. So just in case you're wondering, because you're probably thinking $25 is expensive for a 6 pan. My next question is, what is your largest palette? I looked and looked and I came out with my Glitter Realm Cosmetics Summerita palette. Glitter Realm Cosmetics is an indie brand, and these are the 35mm pans actually, which if I remember, I believe they've now discontinued selling this pan size. I do have like 3 different eyeshadow palettes with the same one, except this is just the first one I happened to get from the company, so I wanted to show you guys that one. A long time ago I actually did a tutorial using this palette as a full face look with just one palette, and I used this guy right here. Like this guy right here, I was using it for highlighter all the time, and even this little pinky one right here as well. I really loved and enjoyed this palette. I mean, come on, you can see how much use it's had. Again, it's been a few months actually since I've used this palette, so it makes me want to, as I was looking at everything, I'm like, why am I not using this one more often? You know, I mean, I have more palettes now to choose from, so sometimes I just forget they're there. But Glitter Realm has a really great quality. Now the next question is the palette with the best memories. In a weird way, my Pretty Vulgar Nightingale palette actually is the one I have the best memories, being that it was my first BoxyCharm box actually. It's very, very neutral. I was using it almost every single day until I got the next one that I'm going to talk about soon. And it's just, it really opened my eyes to different options available when it comes to makeup and quality. I really enjoyed this palette overall, and it just reminds me of my sister in a weird way. So the next question is a palette that was worth the hype. That would have to be the Tati Beauty Neutral Volume 1. I haven't given it as much love as I probably should. I just have so many other palettes that are a little bit more convenient when it comes to sizing, and I just forget, like it's black packaging, it's in one of my little cubbies, so I forget I have it sometimes. And when I just want quick easy stuff, I'm using a small palette. So that's why you'll notice most of the palettes I've been showing you guys were on the smaller side actually. But I do love the quality, the blendability. The only thing that I have issues with on and off is the glitters. I kind of, you know, it's just glitters in general, you know what I mean? Yeah. But overall, again, definitely worth the hype. I really do enjoy the palette when I get to use it. Now the next question is, what was the palette that was not worth the hype? The Fenty Moroccan Spice, you guys. So thankfully for me, I did not buy this. I got this in my BoxyCharm Premium March, I want to say. I was constantly kicking myself in the butt for not picking this up because the colors look gorgeous, and you know, Fenty, everyone raves about it, and you know, so on and so forth. But once I got it, I was shocked at just the quality. I don't feel was there. They were very patchy. Like what you see in the pan is not what you even swatch, and it's not what applies on your eyes. the blendability is really hard. It's all around bad in my opinion. Honestly, it's still in my house because I just got it, so I'm trying to give it a little bit more time before I give it to someone else that maybe could enjoy it better. But again, I'm glad I didn't pay for it when it first came out because it was almost $60, and I'm glad I didn't buy it when it's currently 50% off at Sephora. I think it's like $29 or something like that, because it's just not worth it in my opinion. There's just so many other better quality eyeshadows that this is not it. Like, it's really not. The next question is, what is your favorite palette from your favorite brand? For me, again, it has to be the brand that started an addiction, a makeup addiction, which was Jeffree Star. And the very first palette I actually purchased that it didn't come in a subscription was the Alien palette. I absolutely love this palette. I still try to use it as much as I can. It's just, again, it's one of those things, it's just big and awkward, so I don't always have time. As you can see, I do apologize, but you can see there's definitely some divots in there, especially the shimmers. Oh my gosh, like this guy right here, this guy right here has a divot. For a long time on Pluto, I was trying my darndest not to hit the star, so I would always hit the corner with my brush and do it. So I ended up making a hole. But I really love this palette. Gravity and Phone Home were some of the most used mattes in the palette as well. I just really enjoy it very much. I was able to do so much with it. Again, it was my first product. My first ever makeup palette I actually purchased, and let alone it being a very expensive palette for me back then. That was a lot of money. Because I'd never spent anything over 20 bucks when it comes to makeup, so this was a big deal for me, and I loved using it very much. So this is definitely one of my favorite palettes from a favorite brand, and I definitely have some great memories. For my last question, but it's a repeat item, you guys. So for the last question is, what is your most used palette? And I guess my most used palette is the Bloom palette by Tarte. Again, it's one of the older ones that I own. In the last 6 months, I've definitely taken more use out of the Bloom palette than, of course, the Alien palette, just because of convenience, and it's not easy to travel with the Alien palette. But definitely, this is one of my most used palettes by hands down again. So, you know, I sadly had a repeat. I know most people don't, which is kind of cool, but in my case, I hope you guys enjoyed watching my little video of my palette tag and you know, a few of the palettes in my collection. Let me know, have you guys done the tag? Answer a few of the questions along with me down in the comments, and let me know what is basically kind of how your collection is in general. I would be interested to know, maybe we have a few similarities in our collection. Before I head out, if you've made it this far, please hit that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and also I would appreciate if you can hit that thumbs up. And make sure you check the playlist below, as the videos for, of course, myself, Davida, Becca, Laura, and Jasmine are all linked below, and you guys can, you know, check us all out, because I'm sure we're gonna have different likes and dislikes kind of thing, you know what I mean? And make sure you let them know that I sent you. But anyways, thank you all so very much. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you so much. You guys have a beautiful day, night, whatever time it might be for you right now. Goodbye.